Okay, hello guys and welcome back to another video, and as you can see by the title, today we are doing a video on how to bulk the right way. If you've never bulked before or you've never been interested in bulking and you're now trying to take a step to get a bit bigger, put on some muscle for summer, this is the video for you. You're going to have loads of helpful content and ways to bulk. So without further ado, let's get into the first tip. Okay, so for this first tip, as you can see, we're in the kitchen because it's all about food. And it's all about, more specifically, how much food you're eating. So to put on weight, which is basically the same as saying to put on muscle if you're working out in the gym, you need to be eating in a calorie surplus. Basically, a calorie surplus is where you're eating more food, so more calories, than you're burning off at the gym throughout your daily life. So what you want to do is basically go onto this app. As you can see, you're typing in calorie burn calculator. Now what this is going to do is it's going to bring up a load of apps, and basically it's going to calculate a number for how many calories it thinks you burn throughout a day. So as you can see, you click on it, loads come up, they're all pretty much the same. And what you have to do is basically just import a few facts about yourself, relative to yourself, like your height, your weight, your gender, and it's dead easy. Okay, so as you can see, all you have to do is put in some very simple facts and figures about yourself, like your height, your weight, your gender, how many times you're active per day. And this app will come back with a roundabout figure of how many calories it thinks you as an individual burns per day. So let's say it comes back with 3,000 calories, it thinks you burn around 3,000 calories a day. What you want to do is add 300 to 500 calories on top of this, and that will be the amount of calories you want to be consuming per day. So say it comes back with 3,000 calories, you should be trying to consume around 3,500 calories a day. So what you want to do is track your weight progress for 7 days. If you put on a bit too much weight and you're noticing a bit of fat in your stomach area, maybe consider taking a couple of hundred calories off. And if the weight's staying the same on the scales and you're not putting on much weight at all, maybe consider putting on another couple of hundred calories, so up it to maybe 3,700 calories. So the first tip is all about getting in a calorie surplus. So if tip number one is all about getting in a calorie surplus, we need to be able to track our calories. So tip number two is going to be tracking your calories. I would definitely advise downloading an app called MyFitnessPal. It's sponsored by Under Armour. You can type in a food and it comes up with all the calories, macros and all that stuff. Or you can scan a barcode, which is usually what I do. If you've got a product in front of you like some chicken breast that you just bought from, say, Morrison's, if you scan the barcode that you normally scan at the till, say you're at the self-checkout, it'll come up, you just press it and it'll be all over with the calories, macros and everything like that. So it's dead helpful, and I'll show you that now. So as you can see, I've loaded up MyFitnessPal here. What you want to do is press the center blue plus, press food, select which meal you're on. So for me it was breakfast. Press scanner barcode at the top, and as you can see I've just got a yogurt here, and straight away it comes up with how many calories it's got in, how many grams of carbs, fat, protein. You can select your serving size, so say if you only had half, you can select that you only ate half of it based on the grams, how many grams you ate, and it's just so helpful for tracking your calories. Okay, I've just come back from the gym, so I'm a bit out of breath. However, moving on to tip number three, which is prioritising compound exercises or compound movements. The squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Now these are called compound exercises because all three of these exercises use a ton of muscles at the same time. So obviously you've got your squat, which is mainly lower body dominant, using your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. You got your deadlift, which is pretty much the same, using your core, your glutes, your thighs, your hamstrings, and then obviously you got your bench press, which is more chest focused if you do it correctly. Bit of forearms, shoulders, biceps, triceps, all that type of stuff, and they basically give you the best bang for your buck for putting on size, because say if you was doing a bicep curl, you're just using the bicep, you're focusing most of your muscle growth on your bicep, but if you're doing all these compound movements together, you're pretty much getting a pump throughout every muscle in your body. If you did deadlift, squat and bench press in a week, you can pretty much cover every single muscle that's in your body and you've pretty much used them all. Okay, we're racing through these now, but moving on to tip four, which is prioritizing progressive overload, making sure you're progressively overloading each muscle group and each exercise every time you go into the gym. Which will look like this, just increasing the weight every single session and every time you step into that gym. Okay, so one form of progressive overload that has been scientifically proven to increase strength and increase muscle gain is, let's say you go into the gym on day one and you can complete 5 reps of 60 kg on the bench press. So the next time you go into the gym, you want to move it up to 62.5 kilos. And now you might not get 5 reps on this exercise, you might only get 3. Next time you go into the gym, you might get 4 reps, and then the time after that, you might get 5 reps. Then once you've completed them 5 reps on 62.5 kilos, move up to 65 kilos. So you're adding 2.5 kilos every time you go into the gym and making sure you can get up to that 5 rep range and then adding another 2.5 kilos. Now, it will slow down the more that you do the exercise. It will naturally start to plateau, but you just have to keep grinding through it as it is a very long process. But if you carry on progressively overloading your muscles, you will get stronger and you will get a lot bigger. So moving on to tip 5 now, halfway through the video, and this is probably the most boring tip of all because nobody likes doing it. It's making sure that your form is right and prioritizing form. So basically, if your form isn't right on movements such as like your compound movements, you can injure yourself really easily, and that can lead to a lot of time outside the gym, and you're going to lose more muscle than you're going to gain. Okay, so here's an example of me squatting with good form. So you're going straight down, making sure that your pelvis goes back, making sure that your legs are strong and your knees aren't caving in, and then you can see that my pelvic thrusts forward around 60 to 70% up of the movement. Now here's an example of me squatting with bad form. You can see that my pelvis goes too far back, my back is bending. That means that I'm pretty much pushing up with my neck and putting strain on my neck and back muscles. As you can see, this is bench with good form. I'm making sure that I'm retracting my scapula and making sure that my shoulders don't run free at the top of the movement. Now this is bench with bad form, pretty much the opposite. My shoulders are just running free at the top of the lift. Okay, so moving on to tip 6, which is try to consume at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you are. So let's try and break this down a bit. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm stepping on the scales with my nice pink socks and I'm weighing in at 75.1 kilos. So I just did a quick conversion to Google, converting kg to pounds because my scales are set to kg, and you can see it's 165 pounds, which means I need to consume at least 165 grams of protein per day. Which leads on to our next tip, which is tip 7, which is going to be try to consume as much lean protein as you can. And when I say lean protein, you're going to get lean protein from things like eggs, chicken breast, turkey breast, mince, steak, fish, seeds, nuts, all that type of stuff is like healthy proteins. You don't really want to be getting much of your protein from things like pizzas, microwave meals, takeaways, because your body can't use them as efficiently. You go getting all your proteins from things like eggs and chicken breast, your body can use it much more efficiently and it's got more properties for muscle repair and recovery. So moving on to tip 8, which is liquid calories. And I know what you're thinking, like they're massive thick milkshakes that all the bodybuilders make, when realistically it doesn't have to be like that, because for me they don't really work. I feel sick when I'm drinking them and they fill me up and I can't get them down too quick anyway. So for me, I don't really put them into my diet. If they feel right for you and you can drink them fast and you don't really feel sick while you're eating them and they're easier than consuming food, feel free to implement them into your diet because they are great sources of protein and calories. But the type of liquid calories I'm talking about is literally just like having a glass of orange juice, having a glass of apple juice, having a glass of milk with every meal that you eat through the day. So let's say you eat 4 meals a day and a glass of orange juice is 250 calories, a glass of milk is 300 calories. You can add on 1,000 calories just through liquids onto your bulking like diet just in one day. So that's a lot easier than eating say 1,000 calories worth of food. You can just get the same amount of calories just as liquids. It's so easy, you just drink them whilst you're eating, and you can make bulking a lot easier because you don't have to get as many calories in like as foods. You can get a lot more in as liquids. So tip 8, liquid calories. For example, I've just made myself 4 bagels with peanut butter, which is around 850 calories, but with my orange juice, that takes it to around 1,100 calories. So I've just finished my bagels, and that leads me on to tip number 9. So tip number 9, I think, gets overlooked by many people. People do say it, and it is like a common thing, but I think it's much more important than people actually make out, and it is planning your rest days. So say if you sit down with a pen and paper and just write out every commitment that you have through the week. Say if you go to school, college, you've got an apprenticeship, you're in full-time work, you do football on Tuesdays, boxing on Wednesdays, whatever it is, just write it down and make sure you write down what days you can actually commit to going to the gym. What days you can commit to go to the gym and what time you're going to go to the gym. It makes it so much easier than just going, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym today, or I am going to go to the gym today. If you know that you go into the gym 5 till 6:30 on a Tuesday, it makes it so much more easier just to get up and go, rather than deliberating, procrastinating, not going, and all the other shit. So commit to going to the gym on them days, because you won't make time on the days where you have other commitments. Trust me, I've been there.
you say, oh, I won't go to the gym today, but I'll make time for it tomorrow, and you can't make time because you've already got other commitments and you just won't end up going. So make sure you write down what days you can commit to going to the gym and write down what days you can't commit to going to the gym, and make sure you stick to that routine. Moving on to tip 10, which is the last tip of this video. It's probably the most simple tip on the list, but it's the one that people don't do the most. And it's just staying consistent. And staying consistent is going to be the only thing that makes you grow in the gym, makes you get stronger, makes you put on weight, and makes you achieve your goals. If you stay consistent, making sure you get all your calories in, making sure you get all your protein in, make sure you know which days you go into the gym and you commit to that, make sure you know when you're resting, make sure you know what you're doing when you get to the gym, make sure you know if you're doing a push-pull leg day. Don't just go to the gym and be like, I'm going to do chest today because I fancy it. Make sure you've got a structured regimen and you stick to it, and trust me, you will gain a lot of muscle and a lot of strength in the gym. And with that being said, this is the end of the video. So I have put so much work into this video. I've edited it for about 4 hours. I know it doesn't probably seem like that because it's very simply edited, but I do not have a clue what I'm doing when it comes to editing, so it's been a lot of trial and error. I've put so much research into this video just to try and make it as simple for beginners that you understand it and get like a basic knowledge of how to bulk. So if you have enjoyed the video, or you've just found any single bit of information in it helpful whatsoever, please drop it a like. If you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe, because something like 83% of you aren't subscribed. So please drop a like, please subscribe. And if you've got anything that you want me to try out in the future, whether it's like an eating video or anything like that, just drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to try and get it done for you.